You can come down a little bit, but it's not too bad. Shalom, Yasharala, Shalom, Yashalom, Yabrakakum, Yahweh Sham, Mashaki Shai. Let's get to it. So, a lot of everybody that built with us earlier. So, as you've seen, we went through the first parts of the Torah portion, which was Genesis chapter 25 and Genesis chapter 26. So, we're going to revisit that and go over some more. So I'm also gonna go live on my Facebook because it's been a long time since I did that. And since this Facebook is not the Facebook that got jacked, you know what I'm saying? Since it's not the Facebook that got jacked, I actually can use this one, go live on. Because my other one I couldn't go live anymore. I had froze my Jones up, you know. But anyway, it's all good. So let's see, let's set the settings. Boom, set the stage. Boom. Let's put this right here. And this is landscape is not supported. I forgot that. Facebook sucks for that. They don't support landscape mode. All right. I gotta find something to I used to have a phone stand. I don't have it anymore. All right, well let's do this. And I don't think this is gonna work, but let's go ahead and give it a try anyways. Nah, it ain't gonna work. The water. All right. Maybe this will work. Yeah, I went the wrong way for me. I want a studio so bad. I just want a studio, man. I just want a spot that I can just go into that, just set up and just push play, man. Just put everything in place and get to work, man. Goodness gracious. All right, that's not gonna happen. I'm not doing that. So let's get right to it. This week's Torah portion. All right, Facebook Worlds will be okay. I'll set it up maybe for next week to do a live from there. All right, let's start this screen share. All right. So we are streaming live on Isaiah Yashar Allah on YouTube. Let's start the screen share. All right, screen share start from here. Boom. All right. And we have Terumah, which has already been mentioned. All right. And booyah. There we go. There's our screen share. All right. So this week's Torah portion. All right, as you can see, we've already started off with the reading pertaining to our father Abram, our father Abraham, right? And in the process of our father Abraham, finding about the age, which is pretty interesting, you know, the age and the lifespan, the lifetime of our father. Iqua, you have Abraham, you have Isaac, you have Jacob, okay? As a matter of fact, while we're on here, let me take time to share for myself out. All right, because I haven't shared out for myself. All right, so let me go to my own YouTube and let me get my own video. All right, keep my own voice down so we don't wake up these little girls. All right, and let's get to it. So when we started with the first part of the Torah portion, what we seen was that our father Abraham. All right. First, let's know this about our father Abraham. Now, our father Abraham was the beginning of the wise men. All right. And if you don't know that, then I want to encourage you to just go and look at the Egyptian Book of the Dead. All right. I know that might sound strange. I want you to go and look at the Egyptian. If you're watching, Shalom, Baba Kushah, please share out. That's one of the biggest things that you can help to do is share. All right. So the most I love a cheerful giver. How about that? All right, so Abraham was immensely wealthy, intelligent. He was just crazy smart. So even from his youth, there's a book, and I should have started this week's Torah portion out with the Apocalypse of Abraham. I really should have started this week's Torah portion last week. You know what I'm saying? There's so much information, and I feel bad about the stuff that gets missed. You know, I talk about other things. Yeah, elder didn't say this, elder didn't say that, didn't teach this, didn't teach that. And then I have moments where I miss the opportunities to teach. So Salak forgive me, Baba Kushah. what I'm saying? Or as my Gentile friend recently said, Sleeka. Sleeka, buddy. So yeah, so Sleeka, Salaklia for missing the mark on that. All right, so if I would have started correctly, and if you're watching, since you are watching, go ahead and share out with somebody else, right? 2 is better than 1, and the 3-chord strand is not easily broken, all of that good stuff, right? So if I would have started with last week for this week's Torah portion, then I would have been able to share and give out so much more. It was only time restraint. The reason why I didn't, it's not because of anything else, just time restraint. There is a phenomenal book that's called The Apocalypse of Abraham. The Apocalypse of Abraham is absolutely beautiful because you see the beginning of when our father Abraham, when he was the one that was saying, I don't believe in that God. That's not a God. Our father Abraham was the start of everything. Matter of fact, and I apologize, we actually have a conference call phone number for everybody that's watching now. If you're watching, you're on my YouTube. That's cool. Thank you. This is your YouTube. Share out with somebody else. I'm going to call this conference call number because there's some people that like to listen to the Torah, and that's great. It seems like we're in a good place to teach. So let's try to keep the momentum. I want to get through this whole Torah portion teaching because you got some beautiful jewels in here. Gentile salvation everywhere. But that's not the only topic. That's not the only topic. The part when we get to Abraham and Ishmael, and when we get to Abimelech, and when we get to the, I mean, there's just so many references. So if you're watching, share out. If you're looking for me, you'll be able to find me on a conference call number. I'll be doing the same thing here that I'll be doing that, except for my phone won't be bound up, and my attention will be able to be over in the multiple places. And if you're watching on live, we'll be able to share those informations with you too. All right, we got a caller in, man. You want to salute yourself? We got brother Phineas in the building. Shalom, Phineas.
I was trying to get the conference call and the code so I could call in. Y'all probably going to teach this Shabbat?
Well, don't know if Yaquab's going to, but if he chooses to, if he's feeling good, let's pray for Yaquab's health. Please, at this time, we petition that you send down the anointing oil, the dew, the refreshing on our brother Yaquab, who's going through the elements right now. You know what's best. Father, please give him a total and a complete healing. And thank you for putting your Holy Spirit inside of Yaquab, for being the precept man. All right, we ask that you please extend and give health to Papa Smurf, Banyasha Allah Yaquab, who we love so much, the grumpiest man in Israel. And we ask that you restore him. And with that being said, we were hoping and are hoping that the brother Yaquab will be able to. He may not be, but if so, that would be great. For those of you that's on live right now, you can get the conference call number, and we can share the conference call number with you. Phineas, man, you got anything you want to say before we go to this next part, brother?
Man, all praise to the God, Abraham, Isaac, the name of his son, Yahweh, Christ. Keep the commandments. That's more important to know about me. Keep the commandments and his captivity. You know what I'm saying? All praises.
Shalom, and with the water for that. All praise, man. Beautiful words. So that conference call number, man, we can get that for you all. I believe it's in a group called Our Chat, our officers group. So we have a WhatsApp group called Our Officers or Officer Group. So you can get on there, and if those that's watching, all right, salute to the family members that's watching. If you have the conference call number, please put that on here. All right, Sister Maria, thank you for your ministry earlier. The sister sang beautifully, and that's something that we miss. So the sister sang beautifully, and the women of Israel ministering with the men of Israel, ministering as a community, it changes things. Like I started off real drab and everything like that, and after a minute, you know what I'm saying, most I started waking me up. Sister Maria came in with the, with the ministry, and boom, igniting my spirit, man. So, I want to respectfully say to the men and women of Yasharala, if you can, find you a minister. If you're a woman and you're in the truth, you don't have a minister, you need to find you a minister. You need to find you a head. You need to find you a man that has dominion. If you're a lesbian, all right, and you are struggling with your sexuality, you need to find you a head. You need to find you a man, all right? If you're a woman and your friends don't make sense to you, and you see that the world is going off, you need to find you a head. You need to find you a covering, All right. If you're a brother and you out there, you in the world, you alone, you know what I'm saying? You need to find you a head. You need to find you a covering. All right. Shalom, Banaf. Shabbat Shalom. Everybody keep their voices very, very down to a zero. I want voices down to a 0 to a 1. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to let me see this messenger. Oh, let me see if I can find this. Let me see. All right. So, yeah, go ahead and post that conference call number for those of you who have it. All right, let's continue. All right. So, Genesis chapter, I need all voices down to like the lowest temperature. Shadaya, Kaya Shakwat, Babu Kusha. All right, Shakwat. All right. All right, you need a Shemai, Washakwat, Babu Kusha, the water. All right, so Genesis chapter 25 is where we are. All right. And I'm going to jump right back in with it. Now, this time, since we read it last time, I'm going to read it straight through, full through this time. All right. And then that's going to bring us up to chapter 26. Eventually, we're going to get to the parts where we're talking about Abimelech. All right. So we have Jacob and Esau, the beginning of the birth. All right. Let's get started. Genesis chapter 25. All right. Again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah. And she bare, let's get more screen on her. And she bare Zimran and Jokshan and Medan. Come here, come lava, Aita. Go wash your face and get the crusties off of it before you start to settle down, okay? All right, go wash your face first and wash your quiet. Be as quiet as you can. Genesis chapter, in beginnings, chapter 25, verse 1. Then again, Abraham took a wife, and her name was Keturah, and she bare him Zimran, and Jokshan, and Medan, and Midian, and Ishbak, and Shua, and Jishak begot Sheba, and Dedan. And the sons of Dedan was Ashurim, and Lechurim, and Lumuim, and the sons of Midian, Ephah, Epher, Hanach, Abdiah, Eldah, and Eldah. These were the children of who? Of Keturah. Pay very close attention to how your pages and your Bibles look, because this is what you want to be looking for. When you get through, when we're reading through these, this is the whole subject matter right here. How the Bible is broken down, how these scriptures, how these scrolls were broken down. You're saying they were translated over into, what's a book form, but this was just scrolls. Every time you see this symbol, it's called a pilcrow. That means that's one subject. When you see this, that's just one subject. When you see this, it's just one subject until you get to the next pilcrow. Okay? So all of that right there is just one subject. See? All of that, one subject. So when we get to the pilcrow, each one of the subjects change, and that's how you can keep up with the word. All right? Very easily. First part, what do we see? We see death of Abraham. And we not only see the death of our forefather Abraham, but we see where he was buried. We see the name of his children, how to find the name of his children. But we also find something else. We find the name of our father Abram, one of his other ribs, one of his other women, one of his other concubines. All right. And that's a fun topic that we can go over and talk about after the Shabbat. I think that'll be very fun and edifying. All right. So with that being said, let's get to this real quick. I got to share and get this conference call number out, or else it'll be said that I was trying to, but I couldn't. So let's get that done. All right. Let's go to our officers class, official class, OFFIC. Now, if you would like to join in on the conference call number, all right, we are live now. All right. If you would like to join in on a conference call number, the number is 848. And if you're watching on live, can you text this number in the room? It's 848-220-3300. All right. That number is 848-220-3300. Now on my phone, I'm going to go ahead and hit that button. Now, after you do that, you want to put this pin in 522-5823. So on my phone, I'm going to do that. All right. And I'm going to do 522-5823. All right. So now again, we see Our father Abraham. I hate commercials with a passion. Like commercials just throw off my whole vibe. Like that's why I pay for YouTube Premium because I can't stand commercials. But for some reason this album has commercials. It's still annoying. Let's get to it. So then again, Abraham took a wife and her name was Keturah. All right. So, and we see from under Abraham's other wife, Keturah, we see that Abraham had what? Specifically, concubines. 522, 5823. All right. And it's official. I'm going to push the pound symbol. And now I'm in the conference. All right. And one thing I don't like about being in the conference is being on here and having the music in my ear when no one else is on. That's all right. I'm gonna say get on call. All right. Get on call. And then there's some people that separated for themselves from our community, so they make it harder for other people to do their job because instead of them being a part of our group, they separate themselves and still expect to get updates. That makes people do double the work. How about you just everyone stick to your post, do your job, stay in place, and then that will help everything to run smoothly. All right. So the conference call number has been shared out, it's been sent out. And if you get it, once you got it, please share it with others. And then that will help those that want to hear to be able to participate. Okay. So boom, here's this. I'm going to paste this. I'm going to put that there. And then one more copy. And I really just look forward to getting back to him and reading the word. So let's do it. So not only the Eladim, the children that were from the concubine, plural, okay? The concubines, plural. When it comes down to Abraham and when it comes down to Adam, we are told that attempting to count their children is useless. It's futile. It's pointless to try to count the children of Adam, to try to count the children of Abraham. All right. So from a Western mindset, we all have to get past what we think our principles of relationships and marriage are until we actually get to the subject of what are true principles of relationships and marriage. Otherwise, we're going to keep doing the same things over and over without any real growth. And yes, unfortunately, change can and does hurt. Change hurts. Can. But it can also be a smooth transition. But let's get through this. So our father Abraham, he dealt with his mashpachayim very wisely. He gave out his inheritance at his death. At the very last, he gave everything to who? To his son Isaac. Isaac is the son of the inheritance. When we get to Genesis chapter 25, now remember everybody, we read this earlier. Chapter 25, verse 12 down to verse 18, you have what? You have the sons of Ishmael, okay? And the sons of Ishmael, what? Their lineage, their genealogy, their geneos, their children, and all the way through. And not only just their children all the way through, but also telling us where could we find their cities? What are the names of their castles? What are the names of their princes? See? So understanding that the Most High, he mapped out everything even before we even considered it. All right, let's look at that real quick. All right, let's do a screen share. We're already on screen share. Let's get it. 2nd Ezra chapter 6, KJV, Blue Letter Bible. Probably not going to find that Blue Letter Bible, but we should be able to find 2nd Ezra's online. So for those of you that's watching, you should be able to see this. All right, so I'm making sure I screen share because I like people to know things. If I know something, I want other people to know it too. All right, 2nd Ezra chapter 6. This is an absolutely powerful and beautiful verse, which every verse in the scriptures is, right? So check it, even the ones that hurt. The Most High tells us, he says, and he said unto me, look at what he said. In the beginning, when the earth was made, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew, before it thundered and lightened, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever the movable powers were established, before the innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together. Do you hear the poet? I mean, the poeticness. Do you hear this is beautiful. Let's go back over this again. He says, in the beginning, that's the chapter we have now. Barasha. He says, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blew. Look at what the Most High says. He says, verse 4, wherever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys of Zion were hot, or ever the present years were sought out. He switches from talking about creation to now the mentality of mankind. That's something else. And ever the present years were sought out, and or ever the inventions of them that sin were now turned, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. That did, he says what? He says, then, he says, way back then did I consider these things. So the Most High tells us that he considered how he was going to separate. Now, a lot of Israelites use this completely out of context. They don't use enough of it, and I want to share it from the beginning. Watch this, verse 6. Then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me, Yahweh, and through none other alone but Yahweh. Now, this is actually Yahweh Shai. Yahweh, he made all things. Yahweh Shai, he is the one who actually put the work down. Father say so, the son get up and turn the lamp on. Just that easy. Father say so, the son go turn the TV on. Just that easy. And they were all made through me alone and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. So when brothers be talking about thermonuclear destruction in the world coming to nuclear bombs, I just don't believe you. Because I've read too many times that fire and judgment is going to come out of the mouth of the Lord. Complete destruction. I'm not afraid of intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid of the breath of the Lord that will speak. And when he speaks, the eyes and the tongues in their mouth holes shall be consumed away. That word consumed means burned. It's the same word that's used in Isaiah 66 when he says all those that eat swine's flesh shall be consumed. It's the same word. So I'm not concerned with intercontinental ballistic missiles, ICBMs. I'm concerned with the word of Yahweh. He says what? He says, then did I consider these things, and they were all made through me, and through none other. By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. What does that sound like? That don't sound like no power in the world is going to have authority to destroy what the Father created but the Son. Let's see what verse 7 says. Verse 7. Then I answered and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times, and when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And here's the one that everybody knows. And this goes perfectly into this week's Torah portion, which is why we segue. Right? Let me try to get this call real quick. All right, let me see. That'd be something else, man. Like that's something I don't like. I don't like when I get called to open up the conference call line, and then the conference call line don't get utilized. That means I'm just sitting here listening to the music, man. That's kind of a so we want to encourage people, utilize your gifts, utilize what's been given before you. Man, no, I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that, man. I'm not doing that. All right. Then he said unto me, look at what he said, verse 7. Then answered I and said, what shall be the parting asunder of times? When shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? Now, remember, not just verse 7. I have very rarely heard any Yasharalium, Malachium, teachers, kings, elders actually say what? Say from verse 1. From verse 1, the Most High says, in the beginning when the earth was made, or the borders of the wind stood, he said, then did I consider these things? We can't just get down to verse 6 because it might be accommodating to our teaching, our doctrine. I mean, I know I did. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. Genesis chapter 25 speaks about two nations in one womb. The concept of Gentile salvation is utterly beautiful to me because we're seeing so many Yasharalium, Wahagadium, come to an explosion of understanding, a purple explosion of truth. In this so-called year 2026, which I don't support that. I'm just saying it for a trend, for fashion. I can't believe it's 2026 and Negroes are still debating off of Gentile salvation. This week's Torah portion literally tells us that the elder shall serve the younger. Genesis chapter 25. It is debasing to see how people put away the word of the Most High just so they can have their own calendar, so they can have their own doctrine. It's debasing. It's destructive. It's terrible. It's deplorable. The Most High says in 2nd Ezra chapter 6, he says, before I even made anything, did I consider this and made this plan? Verse 7. Then answered I and said, when shall be the part of the sunder of times? When shall be the end of the first, the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac. That's this week's Torah portion. So we got a lot to find out, a lot to learn about Abanawa Abraham. And if you are of the lineage, not just of the 12 tribes, but if you are the descendants of Abraham, you need to rep him. I am a child of Abraham. Anya Banath, I am the son, I am the daughter of Abraham. And he said unto me, from Abraham to Yatzizak, when? Yaiquab. From Abraham unto Isaac to Jacob, and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. The hand of a man is betwixt the heel and the hand. Other question, Ezra, asked thou not. This week's Torah portion, Genesis chapter 25. Let's go back to it. Genesis chapter 25. We're going to go down to verse 19. And these are the generations of Isaac, Abraham's son. And Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife. Now, we talked about that earlier. If you missed the video, what we did was we went to Genesis chapter 25 or 22. In Genesis chapter 22, Rebekah was born. But guess what? In Genesis chapter 22 is also when Isaac was at the altar about to be sacrificed. This man was 25 years old when his wife was born. This man's 25 years older than his wife. How about that? How do you like that, friends and fellows? I got a brother named Iqua. People tried to persecute him because he had a 19-year-old virgin that wanted to marry him. Oh, was she 18? I think she was an 18-year-old virgin, 19-year-old virgin that wanted to marry him. And Israel, because of the slander and the bad speech, as King Solomon says, the slander of a city is worse than death. The uprising of an unruly multitude is worse than death. They came against this man. This man had a young lady that was a Bathwallah, had never been defiled. I think she was 18 years old. These were Hebrew Israelites, cultish Negroes, cultish women, cults, because they have no biblical parameter of what the Bible actually says how relationships and marriages work. Isaac was 40 years old when he took Rebekah to wife, 25 when he was about to be sacrificed when she was born. The daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padoram, the sister of Laban, the Syrian. So this is why you should say, if you are, my father was a Syrian ready to perish. If you are of the knowledge of your nationality, this is what you should say. Come over here. You see this? This is the book of Deuteronomy chapter 26, verse 5. Did you know that this was a prayer that's right there in your Bible? Here it is. Here it is in Ibadiaf. Here it is in English. My father was a Syrian ready to perish. The location of where we live and our mother's nationality is still right there. It's still prevalent. Our mother was a Syrian. The daughter of Bethuel, the Syrian of Padoran, the sister of Laban, the Syrian, and Isaac entreated Yahweh for his wife because she was barren. For Yahweh was entreated of him, and Rebekah, his wife, conceived, and the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. What I?
I need too much apple juice.
Too much apple juice? Did he give you a sweet tooth? Did he give you a headache? I want you to go and blow your nose and clean your face off and you'll feel better, okay? All right. I don't know what too much apple juice does. I don't know why you're holding your cheek. All right. And the children struggled together within her. And she said, if it be so, if I am to be married, if I am to be with child, why is it like this? What a joy to be pregnant, finally. And now that I'm pregnant, I'm having issues. Why am I thus? And she went to inquire of Yahweh. And Yahweh said unto her, to Gaudium. This word is hilarious right here. You know why? Because the Most High said 2 Gentiles are in your womb. People use scriptures out of context so bad. The misunderstandings of the proper terminology and the proper, placement of these words. Some cats, they're really good with being able to break down the rules of linguistics. And, I'm a novice. I'm not. And they'll make that sound, very, eloquent and all that cool stuff. And I've seen it, growing up. And it's like, man, and I think sometimes that's for their own glorification. I think that's for their own glorification sometimes, because it doesn't help me if I don't understand what you're talking about, just so you can say that I don't understand, so you're more intelligent than me. You're not helping anybody. But if we can read this word and it's as babies and it's just as sharp as any eloquent speaker, I want to take that route. The Most High says right here, he says, Genesis chapter 25, verse 23, Waya Amar Alacha. He says, Shalash Galyam. All right. He says 2 nations. It might not be Shalash. I have to check that. 2 nations are Gaudium. Even right here where it says 2 nations are in thy womb, it says 2 strangers, 2 Gentiles. Now, Gentiles are usually referred to as other nations that are not Israelites. But this includes East Indians. This includes Edom. This includes Ham. This includes Ishmael. This includes any nationality. But did you know if you're an Israelite, then you're actually a Gentile? You're a God. You're a goy to them. So if they called you a goy, what you going to do? You're going to say, I ain't no goy. I ain't no. Yes, you are. You're a Gentile to their nation. You're a Gentile to their nationality. You're a stranger. You're an alien to their nationality, not to your own. So let's use things correctly. To Gaudium, let's look at this word just to make sure. All right. He says what? Sheba, Dan, Midian, concubines. He says, boom. All right. Here we are. In thy womb, here we go. In thy womb and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. There's a young brother whose name is I forgot, but Shabar. The brother went by the name Shabar. People had a problem with him because of the way he says things. But the reality of it is you just don't understand what Shabar is saying. Shabar is very wiry. He's very, he's got a whole bunch of, a whole bunch of energy about him. You know what I'm saying? Young Levite priest. So he might call Israel. He might say, you niggas is Gentiles. You niggas is goys according to the Most High. Sometimes these tactics and these things that are done, they're helpful to get our attention because it's a process of learning. Look right here. This is it. The Most High said 2 manner of people, 2 nations, right? Here goes some corresponding verses. Genesis chapter 10, verse 5. These were the odds of the Gentiles. Genesis chapter 10, verse 20. These are the sons of Ham and their families and their tongue and their countries and their nations. See, their nations and Gentiles is the same word. So when the Most High says 2 nations are in thy womb, he didn't bust out and say the Hebrew Israelites is in there. And then you got, just 2 separate nations. So know that you're a Gaudium gum. All right. Especially to oppose nations that are not of yours. 2 nations are in thy womb, and 2 manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. Very much 2 manner of people. All right. We see the disposition, the difference between Esau. We see the difference between the children of Jacob. Very 2 manner of people. All right. Everything from everything. All right. And 1 people shall be stronger than the other people. Now, I'll leave that up to you. All right. Is Esau coming over and dominating every sports arena where Jake is? Or is Jake going and dominating every sports arena where Esau is? I just seen 2 of the coldest, Little Hebrews ice skating. I said, here we go. You already got the sister that was ice skating doing backflips. It's a couple. It's a brother and sister, I guess. Man, it was. I'm like, I guess. But not just that. We have genetics that do make a difference within us. From everything from aging to strength to, our eyes. You have to get a physician, somebody that specializes in that department to be able to break that down to you. I can only go off what I've been told and what I've researched. The Most High said that there will be two manner of people, the elder shall serve the younger. I'm sorry for everybody who missed this verse right here. It is impossible for all Edomites to be destroyed and to die. And even in my youth, I think I may have said that in my childishness. I don't remember. I've been around. I ain't claiming ignorance, but I'm saying. But that is ridiculous to think that every single one, when the Most High is giving prophecy that some have to survive. The elder shall, that's not going away, serve the younger. Please accept that. Find a way to accept it. And I know we have corresponding verses that says the opposite, but the sooner you brothers and sisters, especially you black women, you Hebrew Israelite women are just so wonderful. I know some sisters call you gods or goddesses. I just yield the floor and say, hallelujah. When you Israelite women do your jobs, all right, and you have to start practicing Jeremiah chapter 9, okay? All right, start weeping and crying for your nation, all right, for your people, for the men of Israel, for the women and for the children of Israel. That's y'all's job, Jeremiah chapter 9, and then the men of Israel cry out. It's so sad to see that every other nation, nationality, Gentile women cry out for the Israelite men. It's very helpful. It's encouraging. It helps. It feels good, but that our own don't do it is something else. All right. So please do your jobs. I encourage you. All right. From one supervisor to another supervisor. All right. Do your jobs. Genesis chapter 25, verse 24. And when her days were delivered, were fulfilled, behold, there were what? There were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment. And they called his name Esau. Let's go to our handy dandy notebook. Isidore of Seville's etymologies, Edom names. So within this beautiful book called Isidore of Seville's etymologies, right? So it's important to know that Isidore was working to preserve truth. He was like the ancient internet, If you wanted to know something on the cosmos, the earth's parts, do we teach that the earth is a flat surface? No, we don't. Did the early church fathers teach that? No, they did not. Was it a wide Eastern thinking that the earth was flat? No, it was not. If you want to find out information about medicine, laws and times, books on ecclesiastical offices, God, angels, saints, the church and its sex, languages, nations, religions, military, civilians, citizens, family relationships, vocabulary, human beings, and portents. Did you know that portents such as Siamese twins, cyclopses, dwarfs, midgets, people that are born with their legs backwards, children that are born with their eyeballs inside out. Did you know that they're mentioned in this book? We're only going to go to the section, which is chapter 7, which is God, angels, saints. That's the section that we're going to go to. And the reason we're going to go there is because that's where it gives off the names of the people in the Bible. So if I want to learn about Rebecca, if I want to learn about Rachel, if I want to learn about Leah, if I want to learn about what does the Holy Spirit, what was the terminology of the Holy Spirit at that time? What did we consider it? Okay, well, boom, I can go back and see. Oh, wow. Okay, right hand of God. Okay. So if I need some validation that Christ actually means Christos, well, here's our books. Okay, so let's go down real quick. All right, so we are in Just Traces. We are in book 7, if everybody can see the screen. So that section right there, that's section II, which says the Son of God. All right, substance in the beginning. This is beautiful because, and you see how long it is? Because it's telling you a whole bunch of titles that you can find Christ, right? Section 3I, which is Holy Spirit. Let's go down some more. These are heavenly angels, Trinity, definition breakdown, Trinity, Holy Sepulchre. All right. Now remember, this is first century, second century. This isn't medieval. Like this isn't like, the book of Jasher, which I'm not coming against Jasher, right? But what I am saying is this is an older, more accurate. Now watch this. People who receive names from certain passages, right? People receive their name from certain passages. So let's scroll in. I want everybody to be able to see this because I like people to know things. You see where we starting at? Canaan. You see where we starting at? Lamech. So as we scroll down, we'll be able to find, earlier church father names. So we can stick to the point. We're only going to go to where we were looking for. Now, there was a man in the Bible whose name was Melchizedek. Melchizedek is a very beautiful and interesting character. You can find Melchizedek not only here, but also ask me about it later or bring it up to me. You can find Melchizedek in this wonderful book right there in my backpack called Eusebius Ecclesiastical Histories. Within Eusebius Ecclesiastical History, you can find Melchizedek. You can find Melchizedek everywhere. But let's read a little bit about Melchizedek and see how does the names break down in etymologies. Melchizedek means righteous king. Kings, because afterwards he ruled Salem. Do a lot of you know that Salem is the same place where King David built his place? All right, where King Jebus, Salem is the same place, which is also called Jebus, which is also Jericho, the same place that we ruled. Melchizedek was ruling it way back then. Righteous because distinguishing between the sacraments of the law and the gospel, he offered as a sacrifice not victims of cattle, but an oblation of bread and the chalice. All right, you see that? So that's helpful, Then it goes down into Lot. I want to do all of this, but we're going to go down to my uncle. All right, we're going to go down to my uncle Esau. Now, for those of you who have the same mentality I do, Jacob have I loved, Esau have I hated. This is what the Most High said. This is not what he commanded me to do, nor is it what he commanded you to do. All right. You have an issue with me? Let's talk about it. All right. You have an issue with it? Let's talk about it. All right. Which is what I encourage. I encourage communication because if you can get through the subject matter, even if you're arguing, if you can get through the subject matter, then what you can do is usually get to the understanding. All right. If you can get through the huss and the bubble, you can get to the understanding. All right. You get to the understanding. So exactly right here we have Issachar. That's a good point. I appreciate that, King. So Issachar, right? Issachar means he is recompensed. Is indeed means he is. And Shachar means recompense. This is because Leah purchased for herself intercourse with her husband, which was owed to Rachel with the mandrakes of her son Reuben. And you brothers better get y'all some mandrakes. And if you're a really good woman, you love your husband, bring your husband home some mandrakes. You know what mandrakes are today? Aphrodisiacs. All right. Whence, when Issachar was born, Leah said, Genesis chapter 30, verse 18, God hath given me my recompense. Look at this. Zebulun means dwelling place. So you may have heard it from someone and they may have been like, oh yeah, well, here's a good repeat passage, but let me show you how to find it for yourself. Okay. So that's the second on the the section on the patriarchs. Okay. So let's go ahead and scroll back down. All right, there's our patriarchs. Okay. And there's Simeon. All right, there's the prophets, Elisha, Jonah, Haran. All right. And let's see. All right. Oops. Let's do it like this. Let's go straight to Uncle. Let's go straight to our uncle. All right. My Uncle Edom, my Uncle Esau. Oh, Uncle E, as we call him. He was the original Uncle E. Edom. All right. So since this book is so absolutely helpful, all right, since we're on the subject of Genesis chapter 25 and 26, let's learn about Abba Nawa, Iqua wa Dad Nawa, Edom. Esau is thrice named. Esau is thrice named. You get that? Esau is 3 times named and is variously named for appropriate reasons. He is called Esau, that is red. For everybody can see my screen. So named for his stewing specifically of the red lentil. I have not seen where Esau ate raw meat in the Bible, where he ate his flesh raw. Now, I have seen videos of people eating raw meat, but I gotta keep it 1200 with you. I know some Yasharalim that eat their steak, medium rare, like they'll cut into it and they have blood in it. You know what I'm saying? Just keeping it 12 funky with you. I've seen it. I've experienced it. But the actual meaning here is specifically stewing of the red lentil. See? For the eating of which he lost his birthright. That's one. Remember, he's thricely named one. Also, he was called Edom, which means bloody in Latin, for the ruddiness of his body. So we have one for the meaning of the soup, the food that he traded for his birthright. Two is literally his physical description. Excuse me. He also was called Edom, which means bloody in Latin, for the ruddiness of his body. But seer, because he was bristly and hairy, for when he was born, he was all hairy, as if with a hide. So he was named with three names: Esau, that is red; Edom, that is bloody; seer, that is hairy, because he did not have smoothness of his skin. Rebecca, patience, or she who accepts much. Leah, burdened by labor as of childbearing, for she in her Fusandi, that's a hard one for me, of childbearing experienced more pains than Rachel. Rachel means sheep, for of Jacob put the sheep of Laban to pasture for her sake. Now I'm gonna stop right there. The only reason I read down into the other names was so you can hear how this book translates, how it breaks down, so you can see if you ever need to go and compare. This is an excellent scroll. And it cracks me up. It vexes me. It makes me laugh that there are so many brothers that have so many. You just got, don't polyparrot things to us. Please show us things, and show us by way of book. Show us by way of validation. The sons of Esau were Edom, for whom descended the Edomites. These are the nations that descend from the stock of Shem. Understand that. Edomites are Shemites. They are Shemitic. Yasharallah. Sometimes we be rocking against Esau like they not from the same planet we on, or they not from the same bloodline we on, or they're not even our brothers or sisters. I know this is a different me that you're getting, but it's me all the same. I mean, what can I say? I mean, I've only been exiled by about 3 Israelite communities who I loved and worked for. What can I say? Esau is Shemitic, just like Yasharal is Shemitic, holding the southern lands from the east of the Phoenicians. This book is wonderful because it gives you an excellent breakdown of what you already thought you knew, but it so fine-tunes it. When I listen to people now, I don't even tell people what I know the majority of the time, because it turns out that they kind of want to share with me what they know. So now I just listen. But it's so much better. It's so much better. It's so much edifying when you actually hear it. You can and I respect teachers. I respect teachers. Like, they go through years of I think teachers are sexy. Forgive me. I think teachers are hot. Like, I've always had a thing for teachers. Like, when I was little, I was like, teacher, you know things. I think that's cool. So, we get so much more out of it whenever we do and take the teacher's approach is learning, and we apply what we learn, and then from there we get experience. If you want to take Genesis chapter 10 and you want to take this page right here, you will be edified. Because after this, it goes down to the Phoenicians, to the Canaanites. So this is a breakdown of Genesis chapter 10 and all the other doctrines that you've been looking for. One of my elders told me 90% of our 85, whatever. I'm gonna say 85, 95% of our doctrinal issues could be resolved if we would just learn how to speak the language, learn how to read in the language and read a book. And our doctrinal issues can be resolved. Let's go back. So that was helpful for our friend and our brother Esau. All right. So let's get back to it. Genesis chapter 25, verse 23. And Yahweh said unto her, two nations, two Gentiles, two Gaudium, two strangers. He didn't say Hebrew Israelites and then Esau. He said two strangers. We both strangers. Two strangers are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels, and one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elder shall serve the younger. And when her days were delivered to be fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. Can we validate that? Yes, we can. Can we validate that? Can we prove it? Yes, we can. Here's the resource right here. You can check this out. If you don't like this guy, that's different. If you don't like me, that's one thing. But if you don't like the teacher that actually gave information, that's a whole nother thing. All right. Shalom Lakai Yabraka 522-5823. We on right now. All right, 522-5823. All right, got the conference call number on. It's in my ear. All right. The people that request the conference call I haven't got on, so I've just been listening to elevator music all of this time. It's pretty loving. All right, so let's get back to this real quick. Genesis, share this page, chapter 25, verse 25. And the first came out red all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. We are going to take this and copy paste this here. If anybody would like to have that information, there's the knowledge and the know-how. Here's where you can get it. All right, super easy, barely an inconvenience. And after that came his brother out, and his hand took hold of Esau's heel, and his name was Jacob, and Jacob was 246, 60 years old when she bare them. You know why? Because she wasn't 60, he was. We already seen that our father was 25 years older than Rebecca. Wait, 40. Yeah, 25. Yeah. He married her at the age of 40. 40. Yeah, 40. I don't know. He married at the age of 40. 25 years, married at the age of 40. Yeah, 25 years. Because he couldn't marry her right then, right? Of course. So 25 years later. That's beautiful. So he was 60 years when he gave birth, right? And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. I like to hunt. I like to get out there. I don't like doing certain things, though. For the most part, I'm a plain man dwelling in tents. Give me some scriptures, a bowl of chili, some crackers, some tuna, my children, somebody to conversate with, a couple books, and PlayStation 5. And I'm waiting on the kingdom to come. Yeah, waiting on the kingdom. Most High, what do you have for us to do? Send me, I'll go. Right. So the conference call is now ending. Nobody called in for the conference call. So I did my obligation. I held it down. I'm not going to do it all day for that. All right. So just to let you know, on the Shabbat day, if you miss me, I apologize. If I'm doing my teaching, I'm going to do my teaching. Baby over here, baby on the shoulder. Man, all praise the Most High for our minister that we have with us today, who is honorably ministering and blessing the Eladium. You feel me? And I just, I can't say thank you enough to Wadi Howell. So we're going to finish this up. All right. So Genesis chapter 25, verse 7. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter, a man of the field. That man had the skills. And Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents, and Isaac loved Esau, firstborn son, the oldest. That's my boy. because he did eat of his venison. But Rebekah loved Jacob, mama's boy. So the oldest for the father, the youngest, mama's boy. I'm the youngest. All right. I'm a mama's boy all day. Healthy, huge, breastfed milk baby. Okay. All praise the Most High. You got the oldest for the father, youngest, mama's boy. And Jacob sowed pottage, and Esau came from the field, and he was faint. And Esau said unto Jacob, feed me, I pray thee, with that same red pottage, for I am faint. Therefore, his name was Edom. So he's thricely named. And Jacob said, sell me this day thy birthright. And he said, behold, I am at the point of die. What profited me? And what profit shall this birthright do to me? And Jacob said, swear to me this day. And he swore unto him. And he sold his birthright unto Yaquah. And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage of lentils. Boy, don't you know I would have went home like, mama, Esau just gave me his birthright. Look. He wrote it out. He said, I, Esau, give you my birthright for this bowl of chili, and you will have rulership and dominion and everything that our father promised you will have forever, and you and all your children. Bowl of chili signed. I can't believe he did that. See, Yaquah Jacob rightly named supplanter. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Rightly named supplanter. Maybe it was his mother, Rebecca, and her uncle, Laban, that brought that character on, because they were some planters too. But it seemed like Esau was free of that mentality. It seemed like Esau was just a straight shooter. He just wanted to go out there and do what was right. Hey, Shaquat, quiet. Baba Kushah, please. The water, thank you. I love you so much. Shabbat Shalom. You're doing so good. Hallelujah. But I think what he wanted to do was go out there and come back and get his job done. Now, if you read, I believe, the book of Jasher, you will see that Esau was out hunting. And while he was hunting, he was actually hunting a man. And he killed a man. And while he was on his way back, now there's two different narratives. There's, if not two or three different narratives to this. But he killed a man on his way back. That's why he was on the run. He was on the run from Nimrod. Now, I can't say that I have that to where I can be like, I can validate it here, validate it there, validate it there. I just read that one. That one I read and I was like, oh, that's good. That's interesting, because the scriptures don't say what Esau in Genesis chapter 25. It don't say what he was out hunting. So somebody might say, oh, he's probably out doing it, probably out doing that. Probably no, because if he was out doing that, he would have been eaten. Esau knew how to eat. He knew how to hunt for himself. Why? That was his skill. That was his trade. So he had to be out there banging. He had to be out there in battle. He had to be out there hunting a man. As far as the narrative that I've seen, because he was running for his life on the way back home and ran into his brother and said, brother, feed me. Esau, he knew how to make venison so good. Esau knew how to make deer, lamb so good that his father loved it. Think about that. So if we go to the book of Jasher, if we go to the if we go to the apocryphal text, if we investigate, that ain't hold on, let me see something. Hold on, let me see. I'll be right back, everybody. Hold on, everybody. Yeah, bud. My bad. Shabbat shalom. My bad. I heard your voice, Prince. My bad. Did you get your potty out? Shabbat shalom. All right. That boy like Shabbat shalom. Let me in. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. What up, big head, little body? All right. So think about it. Genesis chapter 25, verse 28. And Jake and Isaac loved Esau because he did eat of his venison. You know what venison is? Venison is cooked deer. Esau was a cunning hunter. He was a man of the field. He didn't have to come to his brother and say, give me a pot of chili, pottage, red pottage, lentil beans. He could have any time killed a rabbit, a deer, or something. He was on a run for his life. I don't think he would have ate a rabbit because I believe Esau would have known that rabbit was unclean. Just as his father, Isaac, knew rabbit was unclean. They don't say that Esau fed Isaac anything unclean. It said venison. So that would have been what Esau would have ate too. So you can look up that narrative for yourself. All right. Esau on the run from the military, from the police, from the man, and runs into his brother and says, man, if you don't feed me, I'm going to die. And Jacob said, swear me this day. He said, and he swore to him, and he sold his birthright unto Jacob. Genesis chapter 25, verse 34. And Jacob gave Esau bread and pottage and lentils. They don't say he gave him raw flesh at all. And he did eat and drink and rose up and went his way. And Esau despised his birthright. Repeat after me. Kol Asherah, Debar Yahweh, Na'isha, Wa Na Shemai. All that Yahweh said will we do and hear. So, quick Torah portion recap. Death of Abraham. This week's Torah portion, getting you all prepared for going into next week's Torah portion. In this week's Torah portion, a few things happened. Let's scan out and see. Not only did our father, Abraham, have another wife, Keturah. I hope everybody's familiar with that. He also had not just a few concubines, probably however many concubines he wanted. I don't know the number of that. We'll have to go to Flavius Josephus, which is what I wanted to do since we're at Madrash. We'll go to Flavius Josephus and we'll also check into that. Matter of fact, let's pull that up right now. Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews, Genesis chapter 25, Jacob and Esau's birth. That's how you got to do it, right? All right. All right. That's how you got to do it, right? All right. So if everybody can see the screen, so we're in Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews, and we are in the subject matter of death of Isaac to Exodus coming out of Egypt. Let me play some Nagayan. I need some ministry music. I need some background. My ADHD is kicking my butt right now. All right, rods of God. My brother's going in, man. All praise, man. They're going in. All right, so let's pull this up real quick. Let's get Kevin. Let's get Kevin Yazzie. All right, again, we do not own the rights to any of this music. This album is called Scary. If you can hear this good, put a 7. Bible Kushah. If you can't hear it good, put a 3 in the room. Just let it play out. You might start to get caught up into the drum. We're going to read to you. After the death of Isaac and his sons delivered their habitations privately, nor did they retain that which they had before. How Jacob Esau his sons rather than habitation, Esau possessed of Doom and Canaan. I don't think that's what we want just yet. We might have to go back. Yeah, this is what we need to go back. We need to go back. All right. Put a 7 in the room if that sounds good. Put a 3 in the room if the sound is not good. All right. 7 in the room if the sound is good. 3 if the sound is not good. All right. All right. Constitution of the world, how it was made. Let's go back chapter 1 and let's go to Laban. All right. Joyful thing he has seen and heard, pour oil over the stones because he had predicted. Let's go back a little bit more. Jacob's flight in Mesopotamia. Accordingly, Esau went out hunting. All right, here we go. Here will be a treat for you. All right, here's a treat for you. This treat is, I'm going to read this week's Torah portion of Flavius Josephus. All right, and his account of Isaac and Esau and Jacob, because I love you. And Isaac's wife proved to be with child after the death of Abraham. And when her belly was greatly bothered, right? Her huge, all right, she's bulging, right? Her belly is bulging, right? Okay, there we go. All right, give me a 7 if you hear that good. Put a 3 in the room if it's not good. 7 if the sound is good. 3 in the room if the sound is not good. All right. Let's get back to it. I want to make sure y'all can see this page also. All right, let's scroll. There we go. There we go. All right. Isaac was very anxious and inquired of Yahweh, who answered that Rebekah should bear twins and that two nations should take the names of those sons. Does that sound different? And two nations should take names of those sons, and that he who appeared the second should excel the elder. Accordingly, she in a little time, as God had foretold, bare twins, the elder of whom from his head to his feet was very rough and hairy, but the younger took hold of his heel as they were in birth. Now the father loved the elder, who was called Esau, a name agreeable to his roughness, for the Hebrews call such a hairy roughness Esau or Seir. But Jacob, the youngest, was best beloved by his mother. And there was a famine in the land. When there was a famine in the land, Isaac resolved to go into Egypt, the land there being good. But he went to Gerar, and Allahiah commanded him. Here Abimelech, king, received him, because Abraham had formerly lived with him and had been his friend. Now, don't forget, this is a very rich young man, a very rich prince. That's like saying, I knew your Abba balling. Abraham was richer than the king of Abimelech, Abraham was richer than Abimelech. Abraham came with bread. And then Abimelech gave him bread. And then the Most High prospered him. And then Abraham was selling water. Selling water? This man Abraham was a water salesman. Boy, you can sell water in the desert, can't you? Yeah, son of Abraham. So this was a rich kid coming to see the king, and the king already knew about his Abba. Hey, man, you get the best. Ain't no Airbnb for you. You stand right here in Airbnb. That's where you stand. The king received him because Abraham had formerly lived with him and had been his friend. Now, if you don't know about Abraham and Abimelech, the crazy part about it is that Abimelech taught Abraham. Abraham taught Abimelech, Abraham taught the Egyptians astronomy, arithmetic, Flavius Josephus. It's all right there. You can't miss it. So we found out something. Let's go to this real quick. Let's share this page. This also is Flavius Josephus. This was Abraham's visit with dealing with Abimelech before his son Isaac got there. Then he out of fear asked Shaddai who she was and who was that who she brought along with her. And when he had found out the truth, he excused himself to Abram, that was supposing the woman to be his sister and not his wife. He set his affections on her, as desiring an affinity with him by marrying her, but not as inciting by lust to abuse her. So Abimelech was genuinely in love with our mother Sarah. So not only did he bring in Isaac, he was also in love with Isaac's mother. So come on, boy, you get the best of the things. He also made him a large present in money and gave him leave to enter into conversation with the most learned among the Egyptians, from which conversation his virtue and his reputation became more conspicuous than had been before. For whereas the Egyptians were formerly addicted to different customs and despised each other's sacred and accustomed rights, and were very angry one with another on that account, Abraham conferred with each of them, and confuting the reasonings they made use of, every one of their own practices demonstrated that such reasonings were vain and void of truth, whereon he was admired by them in those conferences as a very wise man and one of great sagacity when he discoursed on any subject he undertook. And this not only in understanding it, but persuading other men also to assent to him. He communicated to them arithmetic and delivered them the science of astronomy from before Abraham. For before Abraham came into Egypt, they were unacquainted with these parts of learning. For that science came from the Chaldeans into Egypt, thence the Greeks also. So let's go backwards from the Greeks to the Egyptians. Abraham taught both of those cultures. You can't make this stuff up. I smell gas too. Hold on 1 second. Oh. I smell gas. What? Like hot. Hey. All right. Why do you how about so much for cow shot? And I do smell gas here too. All right. So if we go backwards and we see our father Abraham, his antiquities, his history, it goes way back further than what we may have thought, than what we knew. Let's get back to it. Let's go to Flavius Josephus. All right. Oh, wait, where's we at? Which one was we at? And he said, he says, who's feared father, Jews, formerly been. Okay, here we go. All right. Because Abraham had formerly lived with him, he had been his friend, and as in the beginning, he treated him exceedingly kind. So he was kindred from continuing in the same disposition. Oh, he was hindered. Oh, I apologize. As in the beginning, he entreated him exceedingly kind. So he was hindered from continuing in the same disposition to the end by the envy at him. And this is something that we continually had with the Canaanites, with the Hamites. There was always a jealousy that was going back and forth with them, with us. All the way from raping Dinah to burying and digging down our father's wells, all the way to this right here. Abimelech pretending to be the homie, but he really wasn't. That's a cold piece. For when he saw that Alahiah was with Isaac, he took such great care of him. He drove him away from him. But Isaac, when he saw how envy had changed the temper of Abimelech, retired to a place called the Valley, not far from Gerar. And as he was digging a well, the shepherds fell on him and began to fight in order to hinder his work. And because he did not desire to contend, the shepherds seemed to get the better of him. So he still retired and dug another well. And when certain other shepherds of Abimelech began to offer him violence, he left that also and still retired, thus purchasing security to himself by a rational and prudent conduct. At length, the king gave him leave to dig a well without disturbance. He named this well Rehoboth, which denotes a large space. But the former wells, as was so called Eshkon, which denotes strife, and Sitinia, which means name signifies enmity. Why? Because this is what he was going through, just trying to dig his wells. So he finds out there's a famine in the land, goes into Egypt, and the Egyptians are still hating. Now, our father was so much more righteous than me. He didn't throw no temper tantrum. I got to be done with that. It was now that Isaac's affairs increased and his power was in flourishing condition, and this from his great riches. But Abimelech, throve, thinking Isaac throve in opposition to him, while they're living together, made them suspicious of each other. And Isaac's retiring, showing a secret enmity also. In other words, him backing off, being like, yeah, you really ain't messing with me. No, I'm really not messing with you. I got to back off of you. All right. He was afraid that his former friendship with Isaac would not secure him. If Isaac should endeavor to revenge the injuries he had formerly offered him, and therefore renewed his friendship with him and brought him, Philok, one of his generals. And when he had obtained everything he desired by reason of Isaac's good nature, whom preferred the earlier friendship of Abimelech had showed to himself and his father, to this later wrath against him, he returned home. Now, when Esau, one of the sons of Isaac, whom the father principally loved, was now come to the age of what? 40 years. He married Adah, the daughter of Helan, and Abiholamah, the daughter of Eshban, which Aholian and Eshban were great lords among the Canaanites, thereby taking upon himself the authority and pretending to have dominion over his own marriages. And I asked my sons, don't do that. Don't go do this and pretend like you have, dominion over your own marriages. Give me the opportunity to meet or give you away. Because that's what Esau did. Esau gave himself away. I mean, unfortunately, that's what I did. You know what I'm saying? I didn't give a chance for my mama to give me away. So I apologize. I repent for that. All right. We work for better now. With so much as asking the advice of without so much as asking the advice of his father. For had Isaac been the arbitrator, he had not given him leave to marry thus, for he was not pleased with contracting any alliance with the people of that country, no deal with the Canaanites, but not caring to be uneasy to his son by commanding him to put away his wives, he resolved to be silent. He loved Esau so much, he didn't even dispute with him to tell him to put away his ribs, even though Isaac could have told him very easy, man, you got to put them Canaanites away. I don't want them in my family. But instead, he chose to hold his peace. And we see that in the book of Numbers, chapter 30. All right. In the day that the father heareth of it, if he holds his peace. But when he was old and could not see at all, he called Esau to him and told him that besides his blindness and the disorder of his eyes, his very old age hindered him from his worship of Allahiyah, of God, by sacrifice. He bid him, therefore, to go out and go hunting. And when he had caught as much venison as he could, to prepare him a supper. And after this, that he might make supplication to Yahweh to be to him a supporter and an assurator during the whole time of his life, saying that it was uncertain when he should die, and that he was desirous by prayers for him to procure beforehand God to be merciful to him. Man, now Yasharallah didn't read this. Isaac wanted Esau to be blessed. The Most High had a different plan, but Isaac, he was shooting for it. He was like, boy, I want to bless you before I die. I want to bless you before I die. Now, I don't know what the Most High said to your mama, but I want to bless you before I die. That's something else. Vehemently, too. Vehemently. All right. Let's go back up. All right. The death of Abraham. All right, scroll up just a little bit. So why do we want to read this in Josephus? You want to read this in Josephus because you want to be able to get the understanding of, the Bible is given to us very basic, but even in its basicness, there's so much power in it. It really is it's a living word. You know what I'm saying? Whole houses catch on fire and the Bible is preserved. You know what I'm saying? Just the faith that the Most High has given people to be able to sustain our lives through the blood of Christ, right? So with that being said, what you really want to do is you really want to be able to have your own relationship, your own friendship with the Bible. We are reading this from Josephus so we can see the nitty gritty and so we can see the details. And as you go and read it for yourself, what you will learn is you'll be like, oh wow, there's so much that I was missing on. There's so much that I didn't know. So this week's Torah portion, right? Genesis chapter 25 and 26, right? Genesis chapter 25, 26, 27. Accordingly, Esau went out hunting, but Rebekah, thinking it not proper to have the supplication made for obtaining the favor of God to Jacob, and without the consent of Isaac, bid him kill kids of the goats and prepare supper. So Jacob obeyed his mother according to all her instructions. Now, when the supper was got ready, she took a goat skin and put it about his arm. Esau must have been hairy. She put the goat skin upon his arm, that by reason of his hairy roughness, he might, by his father, be believed to be Esau. Here we are, if you're looking for where we're reading on. For they being twins in all manner of things, and they being twins, and in all things else alike. Do you see that? When it comes to Jacob and Esau, for they being twins, and in all things else alike, differed only in this thing. What does that say to you? This verse doesn't say to me that Esau came out white. I mean, it doesn't say that to me. For they being twins and all things alike differed only in this thing. The hairiness, the roughness, the not smoothness. This was done out of fear before his father had made his supplications. He should be caught in evil practice. At least he should be on the contrary to provoke his father to curse him. He brought the supper to his father, Isaac, perceiving by the peculiarity of his voice who he was. Called his son, saying, who gave him his hand, which was covered in goat skin? When Isaac felt it, he said, thy voice is like the voice of Jacob, yet the thickness of thy hair thou seemest to be Esau. So, suspecting no deceit, he ate supper and betook himself to his prayers and intercession with Yahweh, and said, O Elohim of all ages and creator of all substance, for it was thou that didst purpose to my father great plenty of good things, and has vouched safe and bestowed on me that I have what I have, and has promised to my posterity to be their kind supporter, and to bestow on them still greater blessings. Do thou therefore confirm thy promises, and do not overlook me because of my present weak condition, on account of which I more earnestly pray to thee. Be gracious to this my son, and preserve him, and keep him from everything that is evil. Give him a happy life and the possession of good many things, as thy power is able to bestow. Make him terrible to his enemies, and honorable and beloved amongst his friends. I'm going to copy and paste that for you. I'm going to copy and paste this for you so you can know the prayer that Isaac said over his son Jacob. Now, it was meant for Esau. He wholeheartedly thought he was blessing his bond, Esau, wholeheartedly. Nope. I want to put this in here for you because one day you might go back and you might go and read about Balaam. You might go back and you might read how Balaam prayed for the children of Israel. He tried to curse us, but he couldn't. You might go back and read that one day, and then when you read that, you might be like, man, this is our blessing all the way through. This is our blessing all the way through. This is our blessing all the way through. Thus did Isaac pray to Elohiah, thinking his prayers had been made for Esau. He had but just finished them when Esau came in from hunting, and when Isaac perceived his mistake, he was silent. But Esau required that he might be made partaker of the like blessing from his father that his brother had partook of. But his father refused it because all his prayers had been spent upon Jacob. So Esau lamented the mistake. He lamented the mistake. What mistake did Esau lament? He didn't lament going hunting for his father. He loved going hunting. He didn't lament going out and getting the meal and preparing the meal for his father. He loved cooking for his father because his father loved his venison. He lamented the mistake of saying, deal. Bet, bro. Bet. I'll sell you my birthright. He lamented the mistake. However, his father, being grieved at his weeping, said that he should excel in hunting and strength of body and arms and all such sort of work, and should obtain glory forever on those accounts, and he and his posterity after him, but still should serve his brother. But still, son, you're gonna have to serve your brother. But still, son, we're gonna make you the best at everything. The Most High is gonna bless you. You're gonna build towers and skyscrapers and rockets, and you're gonna go out into space, and you're gonna build, and you're gonna have weapons, and you're gonna be. But just Genesis chapter 25 is the answer. Flavius Josephus, Antiquities of the Jews, is the blowing off of the dust. But still serve his brother. Now, the mother delivered Jacob when she was afraid that his brother would inflict some punishment on him because of the mistake about the prayers of Isaac. For she persuaded her husband to take a wife for Jacob out of Mesopotamia, out of her own kindred. Esau having already married Basemath, the daughter of Ishmael. Basemath. Nah, I know what your name is. Your name is Basemath. The daughter of Ishmael, without his father's consent. For Isaac did not like the Canaanites, so that he disapproved of Esau's former marriages, which made him take Basemath to wife in order to please him. And indeed, he had a great affection for her. We're going to switch from here. We have our etymologies open, our handy dandy notebook. Genesis chapter 25, KJV Blue Letter Bible. Genesis chapter 20. Uh-oh. Genesis chapter 25, KJV, Blue Letter Bible. That was our death of Abraham. 26 is where we are now. Now, here's the beautiful part. We actually just read this. We just read it from Flavius Josephus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly give you a recap. And it's going to sound familiar once you hear it from the Bible. Genesis chapter 26, verse 1. And there was a famine in the land besides the first famine in the days of Abraham. And Isaac went to Abimelech, king of the Philistines, unto Gerar. And Yahweh appeared unto him and said, Go not down into Egypt. Dwell in the land which I shall tell thee of. Sojourn in this land, and I will be with thee, and will bless thee. For unto thee and unto thy seed I will give all these countries, and I will perform the oath which I swear unto Abraham thy father, and I will make thy seed multiply as the stars of heaven, and I will give unto thy seed all the countries, and in thy seed shall all nations of the earth be blessed. Call her Aratzat Barawakian. Might be Barawakia. It's so beautiful when other people, when other Gentiles, other nations say that, man, we are blessed because of y'all. And I'm sitting here looking at myself like, man, you know what? I completely understand here and love what you're saying. At the same time, you know, I'm just a nigga trying to stay out of hell. And then they come back, they be like, but you are the Israelite. I'll be like, I want y'all to know something, Israelite or not, the Most High can raise up stones to worship him. Don't y'all forget that. Because Abraham obeyed my voice and kept my charge, my commandments, my statutes, my laws. And Isaac dwelt in Gerar. And the men of the place asked him of his wife. And he said, she is my sister. I love it. That's my sister. Who that? Oh, yeah. Oh, Aquaf? Yeah, she my sister. He didn't say she my wife. He didn't say she my bottle of Sprite. He didn't say she my shorty doo-wop, she my boo, she my concubine. I ain't telling you nothing. I'm not telling you nothing. She's my sister. That's all you need to know. Man, you sure? Hey, that's my sister. That's all you need to know. Oh, yeah, that's my sister. It's Aquatia. Oh, Aquatia. Hey, Abraham, man, that's your wife. Aquatia. Aquatia, that's my sister. But wait a minute. Let's read this. The men in that place asked him of his wife, and he said, she is my sister. For he feared to say, she is my wife, lest, said he, the men of that place should kill me for Rebekah, because she was fair to look upon. Now, this is twice. You had Abraham and Sarah had to tell these Canaanites, these funky Hamites, had to tell them, she's my sister. Then you got Isaac and Rebekah got to do the same thing. Why? Because the people of the land would rape you. It's just that plain. The people of the land of Canaan would take you. They would force you. These are the same people that were the inhabitants, the people that lived and built Sodom and Gomorrah. It's the same people. The same people, the same mentality, the same integrity whenever it came to their discussing it. The same people who raped Dinah. Don't talk to me about Abraham was deceitful. If I go somewhere and I don't want somebody to know something, I'm not telling you. It's better if I don't tell you than to tell you and then it be. It's better. You know what? whenever I hear about Abraham and Isaac and how the people didn't want just Rebecca, but they wanted Sarah, it makes me think of stuff like how today people will murder you or shoot you or steal from you because of a relationship you're in. Because of a relationship, it's the same thing. Was he wrong for saying she was his sister? Absolutely not. Bloodline, yes, she was his sister. Not biologic father, mother right there. She was his sister. Was he wrong? I'll pull the "she is my sister" card in a heartbeat. Won't feel bad about it. And go right on home with my rib and sit on the couch with her, eat chips and sandwiches with our children in our arms. Won't feel bad about it. I'll go out all day. Yeah, she's my sister. All that. Won't feel bad about it. For the minute that place asked him, and he said, "She is my sister," for he feared to say, "She is my wife," lest, said he, the men of that place should kill me for Rebekah because she was fair looked upon. And it came to pass, when he had been there a long time, Abimelech, king of the Philistines, looked out the window and saw, and behold, Isaac was sporting with Rebekah. Wait a minute. I want to know, what is this word, sporting? Is this something that we do? Is this a Hebrew custom, or is this just a life? Is this? All right, that's a tough one. What does it mean? It means to mock, to jest, to play, to laugh, to jest, to sport, to play, to make sport, play. So, primitive root, merriment, scorn, implication, sport, laugh, mock. No, I'm not satisfied with that. More of that definition, they were flirting with each other. Oh man, I didn't even know I wasn't even on the page I was reading from. Man, there we go. Why y'all didn't tell me? Y'all supposed to say, he's supposed to say, get on the page, brother. Y'all supposed to tell me I wasn't on the page. I'm reading on a whole nother page. Your screen's on another one. So we already read the Torah portion pertaining to Genesis chapter 26. We see that this sporting was a playful, intimate act that women and men sometimes do if they like each other. And Abimelech called Isaac and said, "Behold, of surety, she is your wife. For sure, that's your wife. That is definitely not your sister. Not what I was just seeing y'all doing. That is your sister, bro." See, they got caught up. Sarah and Abraham didn't. Isaac, like, can you imagine that, man? No, never mind. Let's get back to it. And now, and how sayest thou, she is my sister? And Isaac said unto him, because I said, lest I die for her. And Abimelech said, what is thou hast done unto us? Why do y'all keep doing this? You and your father came and did the same thing. One of my people might have lain with your wife, and thou shouldest have brought guiltiness upon us. And Abimelech charged all of his people, saying, he that touches this man or his wife shall surely be put to death. Don't nobody mess with him. Do you know how agitating it had to be for Abimelech? And Abimelech already had an issue with us. So as we read earlier, right here, Isaac starts to dig wells. They start to hate on Isaac, burying up his wells. And then Abimelech has the audacity to finally come and say, can we make an agreement that I have not been mean to you, but we are friends, and that I have never, ever, ever at my meant to stop all your well, or there's no start all your well. What we will do is we will say that we will never have a bad friendship. Okay, goodbye. What? Genesis chapter 26, verse 26. That's exactly what Abimelech did. And Abimelech went to him from Gerar. And Ahuz, one of his friends, and Pico, his chief captain of his army. And Isaac said unto him, wherefore come ye unto me, saying that you hate me and have sent me away from you? What you doing out here? You don't like me? You said, what's going on? What do you want? And they said, we saw certainly that Yahweh was with us, certainly that Yahweh is with you. And we said, let us go now. Let us go now. and make an oath betwixt us, even betwixt us and thee, and let us make a covenant with thee, and thou shalt do us no hurt, as we have not touched thee. We have not done anything wrong to you. But that's not true. Abimelech and his men was hating on my father Abraham. Then I came into the land. Y'all hating on me, and y'all buried up. You know how much work it took to dig that well? And y'all came and argued with me because the Most High gave me water. Boom. All right, boom. All right, you know what? No sweat. Y'all can have that. All right, I'm going to go over here, homie. I'm going to go over here. What's up? I'm going to go over here. All right, go over here. Boom. We're going to dig another well. Here come the Hamites. They come strifing. They take that well too. They come arguing. Boom. Abraham also Isaac. So Isaac like, man, forget it, man. Go ahead. Y'all can have that one too. Most High made more water. They had a good way of thinking. Y'all can have that too. Most High made more. So Isaac does what's wise. Goes and builds another well, digs another well, finds water. And now Abimelech want to come and say, we're buddies, we're friends. Stop it, uncle. Stop it, uncle. Stop it, Uncle Abimi. Stop it. You my father Shem's brother. You Ham. You Uncle Bimmy. Stop it. But yet, this is what Abimelech did, and he came and gave a sacrifice offering, saying, we haven't done anything wrong to you. We friends, we homies. And since we haven't done anything wrong, man, let's have a feast together. And this is what we have, Beersheba. All right, Beersheba. All right, we have the place, the city location, the well. All right, Beersheba coming into place. Our father, Isaac, they did another well. In the process of digging that well, there was more favor that was found. And he removed thence and digged another well, and for that they strove not. And he called that place Rehoboth. And he said, for now Yahweh hath made room for us, and we shall be fruitful in the land. And he went up from thence to Beersheba, and Yahweh appeared unto him that same night and said, I am the God of Abraham, thy father, fear not, for I am with thee. I will bless thee and multiply thee. And my servant, for my servant Abraham's sake. And he built an altar there and called the name of the Lord, and pitched his tents there. And Isaac servants dig a well. All right. Verse 26. And Abimelech went from Gerar and Hazaz and we read that. All right, so let's read down verse 32. And it came to pass the same day that Isaac's servants came and told him concerning the well which they had digged, and said unto him, we have found water. And he called it Sheba. Therefore, the name of the city is Beersheba unto this day. And Esau was 40 years old when he took the wife Judith, the daughter of Beri, the Hittite, and Basemath, Basemath. I gotta learn that name. Of Elan, the Hittite, which were a grief unto the mind of Isaac and Rebekah. Repeat after me. Kol Asherah. Kol Asherah. Wanashemai. Kol Asherah. Wanashemai. Kol Asherah. The body Hawa. Wanashemai. Whoa, wait. All that Lord said we do over here. Kol Asherah. The body Hawa. Nasha. Wanashemai. Kol Asherah. Kol Asherah. Wait, whoa. All that Yahweh said. Kol Asherah. The body Hawa. Okay, well, Kol Asherah. The body Hawa. Naisha. Wanashemai. Kol Asherah. The body Hawa. Naisha. Wanashemai. All that the Lord has said will we do and hear. Man, I had trouble with that for a second. It's like my brain had went somewhere on that. But all that the Lord has said we do and hear, you can find that in the book of Exodus chapter 19. Moth, that's what I thought. Bashmath, that's what I thought. All right. Yeah, makes sense. All right. Bashmath means spice. Hittite wife of Esau, daughter of Ishmael, sister of Nebaioth. All right. Daughter of Solomon, wife of Amaz, and one of Solomon's commissionerate officers. Azimah. Okay, 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 okay. That's beautiful. All right. Let's get to it. We're almost done. Genesis chapter. Uh-oh, I messed up. Messed up. Oh no, I messed up. I gotta go back to the page. Chapter 27, and we will have completed or concluded the weekly Torah portion reading pertaining to the law. Now, pertaining to the law, we're only going to read down to 19. All right, and then I'm going to take a nap. I'm going to refresh, see if I get the girls to take a nap to refresh, and then start over. All right, it seems like they got a lot of energy right now. So this is the book of Barashiah. All right, Genesis chapter 27, and we are in verse 10. This is chapter 27, verse 1, excuse me. And it came to pass when Isaac was old and his eyes dim, so that he could not see, he called Esau, his eldest son. He called Esau his eldest son. He called him Esau, his eldest son. And he said unto him, my son. And he said unto him, behold, here am I. And he said, behold, now I am old. I know not the day of my death. Now, therefore, take, I pray thee, thy weapons and thy quiver and thy bow, and go out to the field, and take me some venison. Make me some savory meat, such as I love, and bring it to me, that I may eat it, that my soul may bless thee before I die. And Rebecca, and that's old mama. And Rebecca heard when Isaac spake to Esau, his son. And Esau went to the field to hunt for venison and to bring it. And Rebekah spake unto Jacob, her son, saying, behold, I heard thy father speak to Esau, thy brother, saying, bring me some venison and make me savory meat, that I may eat and bless you bless thee before Yahweh. Bless Yahweh. Okay, and bless. Okay, all right, and bless thee before Yahweh, before my death. There we go. Now, therefore, my son, obey my voice according to that which I command thee. Go now to the flock and fetch me from thence 2 good kids of the goats, and I will make them savory meat for thy father, so that he love it. Now, who do you think Esau learned how to cook from? And thou shalt bring it to thy father, that he may eat, and that he may bless thee before his death. And Jacob said to Rebekah his mother, behold, my brother is a hairy man, and I am a smooth man. My father peradventure will fill me and see, and I shall seem to him a deceiver, and shall not bring a curse upon me, but not bring a curse upon me, and not a blessing. And his mother said unto him, upon me be thy curse, my son. Only obey my voice, and go fetch them me. And he went and fetched and brought them to his mother. And his mother made savory meat, such as his father loved. And Rebekah took goodly raiment of her eldest son Esau, which were with her in the house, and put them on Jacob, her younger son. And she put the skins of the kids of the goats upon his hands, and upon the smooth of his neck. And she gave savory meats and bread, which she prepared into the into the hand of her son Jacob. And he came to his father and said, my father. And he said, here am I. Who art thou, my son? Remember, we read that in Josephus. And Jacob said unto his father, I am Esau, thy firstborn. I have done according as thou bade me. Arise, I pray thee, sit and eat my venison, that my soul may bless me. So many jewels. This is the completion of this week's Torah portion reading. Pertains to the law. We see the birth of Jacob and Esau, genealogy. What else do we see outside from genealogy? Man, you may have missed the first video, but if you did, I did a little bit of exercising with some other references. So go back and catch that. It's very short. And salute to the 3 people that's rocking with me right now for this video. I did my job. All right. Outside of me doing my job, I'm gonna take a nap. All right. Outside of taking a nap, I plan on getting back up and teaching again. Okay. If I want to say, yeah, bro, come here, but you must outside. If you can, study, show yourself approved. Listen to the Torah portion. When I come back, I'll become with the prophet portion. We're supposed to have our brother Yaikwab doing the prophet portion, and we haven't seen him. Well, we have seen him. He's actually ill. Yaikwab is ill. So we're praying for Yaikwab's health, that the Most High restore him. He has a very strong ministry whenever it comes to the prophecies. And what I want to do is be able to support him in that. Hopefully, Iquab will be on our channel, in our pages, and our groups with us, teaching the prophets. It would be so fire if he would focus on the prophet portions while others focus on other things. Like, I know me, I love focusing on law. The prophets are always fun. And of course, the gospel portion has to be done. All right. So I'm going to get some rest. I'm going to say, Yabra, come here, I'm about to check outside. I have to use the restroom and decompress, reflect. And also we are in a eclipse right now. We are in a planetary eclipse. What planetary eclipse are we currently in dealing with Saturn? I think it's Saturn and Mercury. All right. So we are currently in, all right. Saturn is appearing as a bright even star in western sky, smaller than the sunset, on mini planetary parade. All right, so we're having a planetary parade. That's what it's called. All right, so if you want to look up at the heavenly skies, you'll see some very beautiful lights out in the sky, which might seem pretty uncommon. With us going into the equinox, you will be able to see a clear night sky. I love you. How is my up? All right, it's time for me to take a nap. And then we'll come. Yeah, we're coming much outside. If you get a chance, check out this book. It's phenomenal. It's almost, it's crazy. You can go through it and find so many things. All right. All right. I will grant the. What's she looking like that for?
I still don't feel that.
I see. All right. Yahweh Shemar Lathan. Shabbat Shalom. Come here, Shalom. Never mind.